Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. What do you know? Surprise, surprise, the San Francisco 49ers play today. Week 4 of the preseason. I can't believe how excited I am. I've never cared about a preseason more than I have today. I don't know. I still cannot believe that I am watching preseason football. It just has never been anything that I've ever really cared about. But this year I think feels special for any San Francisco 49er fan out there. I think that it's sort of like a right here, right now. It's just we got to do it this year, or what are we playing for? We put some good years on the field. I think that we stopped a progression that we had the last few years. Last year getting halted in the playoffs early. But I think this is the year we're finally going to topple Seattle. This is the year we're finally going to topple and win that Lombardi Trophy and bring it back to Santa Clara, welcoming in our new stadium. And we're going to start this off right. Lots of news coming out of 49er camp this week. Basically, Colin Kaepernick and Stevie Johnson have admitted that they haven't been on the same page yet. This is going to be their last chance to really get it out there. A lot of people are sort of saying that Colin Kaepernick hasn't really had the greatest offseason. I really don't think he's had enough playing time in these games in order to have any sort of a say in how he's doing. He goes out there, he plays a few series here or there. I will say that Blaine Gabbert really did sort of surprise me, showing up last week, having some sort of a good game. They're sort of moving in the right direction. I know that in a lot of my videos I've been down on Gabbert, but he's a guy that if he even goes into play, we're really in a crucial situation in San Francisco. And, that's not even going to be our biggest problem, is who the backup quarterback is. I think everybody would want to have, that sort of situation that we had back in the day of Steve Young playing behind Joe Montana. A lot of people had thoughts about what Steve could be, but basically until Steve took over that team, I don't think anybody really knew what they had. They believed in what Bill Walsh saw, but I don't think anybody was really believing. The backup quarterback is always going to be that mystery thing. I think with Gabbert back there, at least the one thing we're not going to have that a lot of teams have is a quarterback controversy. I'm surprised that we're playing the Texans, which when I look back on, that we played them early in the year last year. I want to say it was like week 4, maybe week 5 of the season. I remember we had that dreadful start to the season where we played, I believe, 5 playoff teams in a row to kick off the season. I think Seattle, Indianapolis, Houston. I remember saying that there was a good chance the Niners can come out of the first 5 weeks with a losing record and really not have their feet set into the 2013 season. When you look at what the Texans ended up being, we ended up beating them a lot to a few. They ended up ending their season with a 14. How do you say that? 14 losses in a row. That was a horrible season for them. Matt Schaub is now gone. He's now playing for Oakland. Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be the starting quarterback for the Texans, which I think honestly is a huge step backwards. You look at what the Houston Texans once were. I don't think Schaub progressed that much as a quarterback that you had to let him go. Honestly, I think there was other things on the teams they could have fixed, but with the losing season comes a good draft pick. They're going to start up with Clowney, the fucking defensive end, coming in. He didn't really play that much last year in college. I haven't heard a whole lot about him in preseasonal games, but I'm sure that the Texans are going to be adding a killer piece to already a great defense there with J.J. Watts. They're going to be a sack killer. They're going to be all over a whole bunch of quarterbacks. They're probably going to be a pretty good team. I never really heard about anything that happened with Andre Johnson. I guess he's going to be showing up and playing for them. I remember him saying that he wanted to be he was trying to find a way out of Houston. He didn't want to really play for that team anymore. He didn't really see the future and what they were doing. But man, how you do not win with the linebacking core of led by Brian Cushing from USC. We always liked him. Always been a really good player. You go over and you look at what the Niners are doing. You're sort of seeing already a big time leader. And Patrick Willis stepping up and sort of saying that the 49ers defense have lost their best player in Bowman, who's going to be out. I guess the sights right now is that Bowman is going to be back for the first trip when the Seattle comes down and plays the Niners in Santa Clara. Patrick Willis has always been one of the most popular 49ers players, let alone one of the most popular guys on the defense. I think a lot of people in the league don't even know that Bowman is probably the best defensive player on that team. He just sort of doesn't get the recognition that he should have got. People have been talking about Frank Gore not running the ball a whole lot. I think that, you know, I don't want to be the one guy to jump on his age and say how old he is and how you know, he's getting closer to that magical age of when, you know, football players and especially running backs are supposed to drop off and not be able to do it anymore. I'm going to need to see, you know, the proof out there saying that he can't do it. Surely the Niners have been building up, and you know, they have a good quantity of backs back there if Gore's not able to do it. But I really believe that Gore is going to have a copy and paste year of his last few years. He's going to be running the ball. The Niners are more than likely to get back to smash mouth football. I don't think there's a problem with the offensive line. I don't think there's a problem with anything. I think it's just a matter of Harbaugh trying to make sure that he's not, you know, killing his guys before the season even starts. I wish I would have been more prepared for this video. I honestly, for some reason, thought this game was going to be on Sunday, but here we are. Thursday night football, Texans versus the 49ers. They're going to be going live. It's a 5 o'clock start where I'm at. So it is what it is. Let's get this done. Go Niners. Beat the Texans.